Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very awaited, the long awaited, whatever the saying is. But this is the long awaited follow up to my video titled Brazil is a Burning Country and It's Not Even Funny. That was a video that I made some 4 to 5 years ago uh, about my dissatisfaction with the performance and uh, really just how the government was operating and also the whole investigations going into it back in the day. Uh, in short, what I said there is that the investigation committees from Congress were being a fucking joke because they were acting pretty much as just Twitter exposing things about the government but not really doing anything about it. And essentially just doing that, really. Like, there's nothing else really that it was doing. It was just saying, oh, the government is doing ugly things and we don't like it, so here's an expose and whatever, follow the thread. But yeah, that was some 4 years ago, and to this day I think I abide to what I said in that video. uh, don't mind this mess, please. I'm like sorting this room out. I kind of just moved in again, so we're sorting stuff out. But thing is, uh, I still abide to what I said in that video, not because my mind on the state of things didn't change at all. It's more because things just didn't change. So how I can say this, the way I can say is that uh, even though Bolsonaro isn't in government anymore, even though we have a different executive, and there has been lots of stuff that happened those past 4 to 5 years. Uh, at the same time that happened, uh, pretty much nothing changed. So what's happened since then is we had an election in 2022. It went as well as you can imagine that it went. There were calls that there was fraud and all of that shit, and there was a whole trouble around it. Bolsonaro and his uh, lackeys like actually tried to stop people from going to vote, which is incredibly fucked up. Uh, a lot of people deny that he tried to do that, but the actions of the highway police just. I don't even know if it's called highway, if I would call it highway police in English, but like it's essentially what they are. They are just the police for highways, because we have police for railways and police for basically everything. But I'm talking specifically about the police for highways, because they actually stopped buses on their way to voting polls that they were carrying people who were gonna vote. And there were many cases where this happened. So there were like in the Northeast especially, but also in the likes of Rio and stuff like that, they were actually stopping buses that had people going to vote. So it's just dubious, their actions really. It's been proven time and time again. It's been more than proven, actually. It's been shown crystal clear that Bolsonaro was actually planning to make a coup and actually, planning to poison Lula and stuff and try to retain power. It's not a conspiracy anymore. It's not fake. He and his supporters and his lackeys and all his associates basically just confessed that they did do that. I don't even know what's the point of going through all the legal shit anymore. The whole process of like, oh, but we need to hear the thing and whatever. Just it's very clear what he did, so fucking arrest him. It's unbelievable, honestly. uh I used to say that, oh, we're a lot better than what was it, than the United States, or countries alike, because we actually arrested our far right guy. But at the same time, even though yes, he can't run for an election, that's obvious. but at the same time, he hasn't been arrested yet, and worse even, the far right is still very much strong in the country, which is precisely the point why I'm making this follow up and saying that I'm still abiding to what I said, because as I said, nothing changed. If anything, it's worse over now. Right now. Yes, Bolsonaro isn't the president. He isn't in the government itself. He is actually being investigated and prosecuted. But even though that's happening, the far right is still a hugely, immensely strong movement in Brazil. Congress nowadays is dominated by them. So ever since the last election, the largest groups in Congress are literally conservatives, and what they call the agro people, so agribusiness, all those guys. They're basically like, they came from fucking knows where and dominated and are dominated the politics of the country. Uh, so in my eyes and in the eyes of a lot of people, if not everyone, the country is just worse, because Lula is doing his best. Of course, he is doing what he can, and his government has been a lot infinitely better than what Bolsonaro was doing. But at the same time, it's been underwhelming. Like, it wasn't what he promised. It wasn't what we expected. Like, when he said that it's for a reunification of the politics and whatever back in when he started the government, I was feeling like it was just gonna be a bunch of reconciliations and what do you call it? Reconciliations and finding the middle ground with the right and stuff. The moment that he said that, I knew his government wasn't gonna be strongly to the left. I wasn't really expecting that. It was never, neither of his governments really were. But what happened is overwhelming, if not, underwhelming, if not depressive, because it's not that, it, it wasn't just reconciliation, it wasn't just finding the middle ground, it was actively working with the right. It is being, at this current moment, or if not being led by the right, because they dominate Congress. So if you want any law to be passed, you need to actually talk to them, because if they don't like it, it's not going to pass. Simple as that. There have been clashes between the left and the right in Brazil. There still are. They've never stopped. But the right is still a growing movement. They are very much strong, and essentially, I'll just say it's scary. It is quite scary. Not just Brazil, but also what's happening in the UK, because in the recent by-elections, I think it was Reform that won, like, fuck knows how much of the UK they actually got. Then there's also in Germany, where the AfD got some part of it. I don't remember now. There's also Spain, which has a growing movement. Portugal, France, Italy is ruled by the far right. So is Sweden, if I recall correctly. Norway has a strongly growing one. Austria is ruled by them. It's just scary. And also, Ireland, of course, which isn't safe from all of this. We're still, the Republic at least is, going conservative. It's always kind of been. It's been, the politics of the country have always been led, in part by, I think it's Fine Gael and the other one. I don't remember the name of the other one, but the two conservative parties that have been ruling Ireland ever since the 1920s, so ever since independence. Yeah, you would think that, because it's maybe things are going to be better because some shit changed, but not really. I mean, if I have to be honest about my assessment of the situation and what I think of what's currently happening, I think it's just getting worse at this point, and there is a lot that we need to do before things start to actually get better in any significant way. So, in short, as a follow-up, I'll just say Brazil is still just as bad as it was 5 years ago. It is slightly better, but it is just as bad. And just about my comments on Brazil itself as a country. I love that country. I do not hate it. I don't think it's absolute shit. I think that it is great. It has the potential to be one of the greatest powerhouses of the world, even though I don't really like that idea because patriotism and whatever, but it can be one of the best countries around, but it's not from a lack of will, it's more of a lack of opportunities and just the unfortunate ways in which government operates, not only just with Brazil but also the entire world. You know, I would say that the British government is no better than the Brazilian government in any single way. The only thing that society here is better compared to Brazil is that people here can spend more, and that's really my thoughts on what makes a country developed at this point in time. It's just uh, how much people can or do spend, and uh, how much they exploit other countries. That's basically it. Uh, yeah, that's the follow up. I hope it wasn't too depressive. Hope it wasn't too. It was gonna be political anyway because the whole premise of the video is politics, but uh, hopefully it was entertaining in a way. Hopefully you like my thoughts or whatever. I don't fucking know. And once again, don't mind the mess. I'm sorting it out. It's actually much worse if you look down here. Let me show you. It's actually much worse. There's clothes everywhere. So, as I said, I'm trying to sort this out. It's a mess for now. So, yeah, that's basically it. Goodbye.